Okay. This will be take two of this. Unfortunately, I started to understand what was going on, but whatever. Anyway, this is gonna be vid part one, and then I'm gonna do vid part two. What this is that I'm gonna be going over some nutritional facts and some alterations and tips that you can use when it comes to eating and some hair growth and stuff like that, and also bathing and basically real decent hygiene stuff, pretty much. Now then, don't brush your teeth with toothpaste. Don't brush your teeth with toothpaste. Don't use mouthwash. Don't use bar soaps. Don't use liquid soaps. This stuff is laced. The soap, the bar soaps, and the liquid soaps are laced with synthetic toxins. Now, I was gonna do like two vids of this stuff, but I think I'm gonna do three. The first one I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do a variety of this and just go over everything. So I don't so you know just so we all know that like nothing is missed. Everybody knows and that everybody's fully aware. Now before I get into this, I started to understand more and more about this mind manipulation stuff, right? And if you like when they start to defamate your character and all that type of stuff, like with their slanderism and stuff like that, what they tell people about, like try to the lies and deceitful stuff that they'll tell the general public about you or whatever, just so they can get their way. I started to understand a pattern here. And what it is like, especially like when it comes to the nasty ass booty bandits. In my case, like they're trying to basically, give off this impression saying, oh, well, like this dude's a homosexual. This dude's gay. I find that very hard to believe since, I'm not interested in dudes. I've always been interested in women. I love tits. I love a woman with curvaceous curves. I love a woman with a pretty face. I'm not gonna change that perspective just because you're being paid off to advertise that. But basically, this is what I noticed. You see, they will constantly do this, right? They'll do this, and I started to realize like they put like this nano is in the eyes, it's on the brain, it's in the bloodstream, it's on your organs, it's everywhere, right? It is everywhere. So basically, they'll bombard you with this type of behavior and this shit to convert you. It means it basically is trying to replace your true self with a fabricated self. In this case, the fabricated self they're trying to replace my true self with is that of identity of a homosexual, and I'm like, no, 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 that's not gonna happen. No, absolutely not. And this really shows that there's some demonic influence that like wants you in that perspective. It basically means that some nasty rich disgusting asshole basically wants you converted into whatever the fuck they secretly are, just so they can have their way with you, basically. That's pretty much just what it is. And it's not just them, it's the nasty fucks below them as well. Um But I started to realize, like, I think that these perps are emitting a signal from their phone, right? Or from whatever device they're using. And it's basically sending a signal to the nano that you're laced with. And it's trying to, like, it will try to literally force your damn eyes in that damn direction. And I could not fucking believe, I'm like, there's no way. Because, like, it feels like something is forcing that. It'll literally force your eyes in that direction. I'm like, what the fuck, man? It's stupid. It really is stupid. And then like as soon as I started to learn to like dart my eyes immediately when I feel that shit start to happen, they would get pissed off. So what I mean by dart my eyes is that like whenever like I'm getting ready to turn my head or whatever, like I would immediately dart my eyes immediately in the direction where I'm going or in the direction where I'm looking. And the only you gotta look where you're going because you don't want to hurt nobody, you don't want to run into nobody, and that's just all there is to it. Especially if you're driving machinery. Now, I'm well aware of the laws when it comes to equipment. First off, you know, pedestrians, they also got to be looking out for themselves as well as the driver. Now, there's one thing if a driver hits a pedestrian who sees them, but if there's a pedestrian who's just walking around, not paying attention to their surroundings at all, that person's showing lack of care for their own safety, because you need to be mindful of your surroundings. You can't just be like walking in random locations and in mid conversations, as well as around such dangerous equipment like that. Especially as with the equipment that I'm using at work, that shit is loud, so there's no way that they can't hear it. So if anything was to happen, like that would technically be their fault, because I mean, especially if you're not watching where you're going. I mean, the machine has a horn. The machine doesn't. It use like plastic wheels and shit. So like it's loud enough for for people to hear. But if you're intentionally not trying to look where you're going, then that reverts back onto you. That's just one little safety tip I want to give for people. It's not even just for me. It's for people on the road too. It's the same thing. But also, it's just that basically, and I'm getting off a topic here, but basically, like these disgusting booty bands will basically try to project the identity of a homosexual out onto you because they want to convert you into that, right? So I figured, since they're trying to project this type of identity onto me, what if I just play the reverse card, and I just pretty much just, instead of trying to wrap, literally just allow these, because eventually, look, if they keep bombarding you with this shit, if they do, I mean, it's a constant thing, and like the thoughts are gonna come through, and these are basically foreign, and I want to say foreign inflicted thoughts, because they're not thoughts of your own origin. They're thoughts of perpetrators trying to project these thoughts onto you, basically. So what I figured, since they're trying to project these nasty ass thoughts onto me, why not just think of women? Since they're trying to, project homosexual thoughts, I figured, like, why not just think of there's nothing but women, nothing but tits, nothing but curvaceous curves. Not trying to be perverted here, but this, when it comes right down to it, you got to understand, like, this is basically your mind that you're basically fighting for control over here. They're trying to hijack it. So basically, you need to come up with a strategic way to basically protect it. So this is what I figured out. Since they want to, do that, I figured I might as well do the opposite, and just whenever they try to say this or say that or do this or do that, tits, curvaceous curves, pretty face, bam, I'm good to go. And then I started to understand that works, but also, like, I also started to understand, like, they definitely do not want me in a relationship with a woman. They don't. And let me tell you, there have been, so far in the last few months that have passed, there have been 2 females that actually showed interest in them. And trust me, the first one I noticed because one of them ended up shouting out to her saying, "Do you like him?" And she was going like, no. And the thing about that was, I believe she does like me, but considering what they're trying to portray, it would basically, if I was to end up in a relationship with a woman and I was to literally just go ahead and just lay down the law and just go ahead and kiss her right on the lips in front of all that shit, what's gonna happen, right? Everything that they tried to push, everything they're trying to say, oh no, he's that, it ain't gonna mean a damn thing. Because first off, people are gonna see that shit's projection anyway at that point. Because first off, come on, you're trying to say, you basically are trying to call a dude a homosexual who's kissing a woman, who's kissing, not just kissing a woman, but also having sex with a woman. Like, really? So it comes right down to the point to where, no, it's not that person is that way. It's just that you just want that person to be that way. That's what it really is. And it's for whatever reason that you want that person to be like that. That's precisely what it is. They just want me to be in that perspective, whether they are being paid off to portray this shit, or maybe they're that way secretly themselves. I don't know, but I do know that North. I mean, I'm just gonna say it as it is. BET's music industry has really been projecting a lot of homosexual references lately. I mean, SWAG is one. The sagging is another, and you need to really educate yourself and your kids on this when they are of age, man, because I did something just didn't seem right about that shit back when I was in high school and middle school, and I just didn't do any of that. I couldn't, I never related to that term because like something was just off about that, and then I started to as soon as I started to do the research, I'm like, no freaking way, dude. So basically, they advertised this shit into into this music that was in not just music but sports, and they still put that shit on the sports magazines, man. If you research this shit, you will see the term swag stands for secretly we are gay. That's what that shit means, man. That sagging shit, that came from the state penitentiary prison. It was them giving dudes easy access to their shit. That was what dudes do. And you know these booty bandits do that shit, man. They portray themselves out like that to the public. I'm like, dude, that money cannot be worth that much to literally defamate your own damn character for. Like, I mean, fuck. Seriously? But you know, that actually says a lot about the how they feel about themselves, and they don't feel a damn thing. They don't. They have no self-respect, man. Not a damn ounce of it. And I ended up seeing a little clip that Tommy Sotomayor did from an interview, right? Now, in my case, I don't know, like he talks about a lot, but like he doesn't, I don't know if he offers too much solutions to the thing. And that's my only issue with that. He doesn't really offer too much solutions. But he mentioned something that actually caught my eye. And this isn't to the females that are awakened. These are to the females that are still asleep and are still being manipulated. There's a pattern there to where they're teaching and this is mostly in the black community. I don't know if it's in any other community. It could be, considering like how desperate people get. And it's this hustler type mentality. And it's like they keep doing that, and now I start to understand why. They don't want the husband or the man in the household to teach their kid right from wrong. Except they want motherfuckers whose mindset's already been warped into this type of hustler mentality, so that gets off to be, as an impression out onto the child, so the child becomes converted into the same shit. Guess what kind of individuals we're dealing with when it comes to these perps? People who are infected with this type of mentality, with this hustler mentality. That's why they're so desperate doing the shit out there on the streets that they're doing now. They literally get them and they convert them while they're young. That's what they're doing. They do this shit through the TV. They do it through the music. They do it through the media. They do it through peer pressure at the schools, in public, all the time, 24/7. That's what this shit is, man. A lot of us, as kids from the early 90s, 80s, and 70s, we were exposed to a lot of shit, man. And none of us asked for this. None of us did. Nobody asked for this, man. Nobody consented to a damn thing of this. No one did. I would go farther into that, but man, like that's a story for another time. That's a story for another time. I'm not even ready to really discuss that little incident yet. But man, anyway, let me go ahead and get into this. Okay, as you can see, the website is called Better Health Foods. I'll leave a link to this in the description, so you'll be able to check it out for yourself. Okay, top 10 toxic food ingredients in processed food. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or had chemicals added to it is a processed food. And these foods make up about 60% of the average American diet. Again, 60%. There are still foods out there that are fit for our consumption that we can still use. Again, um, when it comes to like health and stuff, here's the deal. Don't use toothpaste. Don't use tooth. Now, it's not a food. I'm not saying it is a food, but don't use toothpaste when you brush your teeth. Use baking soda. Why? Because first off, baking soda can make up for both the mouthwash and the toothpaste. Because from what I found out from using it, brushing my teeth, it kills off the nano and the fungi. That's all in there. Um, Add garlic halves to your diet. That stuff kills off funguses. Um, what else? What else? There's a special recipe I got for ramen noodles. Like get yourself a little thing of ramen noodles. Put a garlic olive in there when you cook it. Put a get yourself some dried naturally dried seaweed. Put a few sheets of a few peeled sheets of that in there, right? And then put some iodized sea salt in there, some iodine sea salt in there, and then you're gonna feel a whole lot better after that. Now then, another thing, you want to use baking soda in replacement for your soaps and your liquid soaps. Why? Because there are synthetic toxins in bar soaps. There are synthetic toxins in liquid soaps, and as well as shampoo and conditioner. A lot of these products that we use on the daily 24/7 are laced with this mind control bullshit that they've been using on us for a while. One of the ingredients in foods you want to avoid at all costs is high fructose corn syrup. You'll see this in drinks like Gatorade. You'll see it in Powerade. Vitamin water, I don't believe it's not in there. It's not in vitamin water. I've checked it. It's not in there. So vitamin water is good as an energy drink. Plus, it's getting you a lot of ingredients. The naked drinks, the naked smoothie drinks, those are good because that's also giving you your daily dose of both your vegetables or your antioxidant acidic fruits that you need, right? What else? But you don't want to let that be your main dosage of that. You need to actually eat some actual solid foods now. Okay, so when it comes to your hair, right? Like, don't use hair grease. Again, synthetic toxins. Now, you want to know what you can use and replace for that? Simple. Get yourself some coconut oil. You can use that. That's a natural ingredient. No synthetic toxins. That actually works for hair growth too. So use that. Some people like to try to boil it a little bit to get it more of in a liquefied state to make it easier to manage. I don't even bother with that. I just leave it in its concentrated form. Just grab a little bit out of the jar, rub that in my hair, and good to go. Now then, another thing as far as tablets or pills that you can take for this that's natural is flaxseed. Flaxseed is also good for your hair, right? Flax seeds are very, very good for your hair. Now, if you're wondering about growth for your teeth, eggshells are made out of the same ingredient that most tooth enamel, enamel is made out of. So basically, if you were to make smoothies and you were to add some eggshells into that and you just grind that up and then you got that in there, that's gonna add towards growth for your teeth. So that'll help you out in that perspective. What else? What else? What else? What else? You definitely want to have a decent intake of fruits. Have those acidic effects in there to help you kill off all those toxins and stuff. Whenever you go out, get yourself a face mask. It doesn't have to be nothing fancy. You can go to yourself to the local pharmacy, get yourself the ones from there, and just keep that on you whenever you're out. But also before you walk in a store or anything like that, just make sure you take it off before you walk in, just so they don't think you're trying to rob the place, basically. But yeah, man, like, cause I understand you. I mean, they put vape trails out there, but also when people see that, don't be embarrassed that they see that shit, man, because you know what's going on out there. You know what it is. Um, what else? What else? Because there's more than this that. There's more than just that. I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, coconut water. Coconut water is is highly is a lot more it has a higher hydration rate than regular water. So when you get dehydrated, drink coconut water. And I'm gonna tell you this from one targeted individual to another. They use manipulation to get me to pour that stuff out once. At the time, I didn't realize as to why, because I didn't even know that it had a higher hydration rate in it until like later when I started to research more about it. And then I started to understand why they wanted me to dump it out. And I had like two of them at the time, so by the time I realized it was already too late. But yeah, coconut water has a higher hydration rate. Fiji water has a high alkaline rate. So Fiji water, what you want to do if you get your hands on that, you can drink that, and that's gonna have more of you know, a non-toxic and bodily environment for you. Now, what you need to do for your tap water, you need to try to invest in getting, whether you have a house or an apartment, you need to try to invest in getting yourself for your own health benefits. And if you can, this is if you can, because I know a lot of TIs do not have funds. That's why I created the guide channel. I want to try to get as much subscribers out on there. When people see this channel, don't subscribe to this one. Subscribe to the guide channel, because that's the one I'm going to use to basically try to give funds out to other TIs out there if it ever reaches monetization. I want to give those funds out to people who need them. I want to give those funds out to people who could use them, because I'm still working, so I'm good from where I'm at. But they always are trying to ruin that every day, man, every day. That's a no-brainer. That's for all TIs basically. Um, but yeah. Anyway, let me go ahead and finish this up. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or had chemicals added to it is a processed food, and these foods make up about 60% of the average American diet. Everyday Health by Jillian Michaels. Most of us don't think of the food we eat as poison, but some of the ingredients commonly found in processed foods can be considered toxic. Oh, one drink I want to let you guys know, and I'm gonna find the ingredient to this, but don't ever, and I mean don't ever drink Minute Maid again. Don't, because as far as cranberry juice, look, when it comes to cranberry juice, Ocean Spray is the best you can do. Ocean Spray. Um, some organic ones are okay. Some non-brand, nonchalant brand off the ones, but the ones with like high sweeteners in it, like Minute Maid, no. And I watched this lady's channel, and there was an ingredient she mentioned, and it had something to do with some type of disgusting ingredient that comes from a beaver's ass. I don't know the full details of that, but that would tell you a lot about the BS that they're putting in our foods, man, in our drinks. That tells you a whole lot. And that's in Minute Maid drinks, by the way. Anyway, okay, yeah, toxic. I mean, chemicals are highly processed ingredients that aren't good for you, or in cause harm, or can cause harm to your health. I'm talking about refined grains, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, as I stated before, and all the other artificial junk you can't even pronounce on the ingredient list. Now, when they say artificial, that's your Kool-Aid, that's your Jello, that's those candies that you eat with those artificial colors, like Starburst. Yes, I said Starburst, and I know they're good, but you gotta let them go. Um, That's also stuff as far as chips like Cheetos. Cheetos has artificial coloring to them, especially the hot ones too, man. A lot of the stuff. If you want to know the natural stuff, the natural potato chips you can eat is the regular tortilla chips that go with a dip. That's the best ones you can get because it doesn't have any of that artificial BS on it. But don't want to just get any kind. You want to get like the off-brand ones, the ones that look more like they came from home. Basically, those are the ones you want to get. You get those, you're fine. Get the organic chips. It's the best ones you could possibly get. So potato chips are still okay, but the artificial ones you want to stay away from. I don't think as far as Lay's, I'm afraid I don't know. I don't know because they might be using trans fats, grease in that stuff. Anyway, artificial junk you can't even pronounce on the ingredient list. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or had chemicals added to it is a processed food, and these foods make up about 60% average of the American diet. They've taken over, and we have to fight back. Know which toxic food ingredients to avoid. Palm oil. When a regular fat like corn, soybean, or palm oil is blasted with hydrogen and turned into a solid, it becomes a trans fat. These evil anti-nutrients help packaged foods stay fresh, meaning that the food can sit on the supermarket shelf for years without ever getting stale or rotting. Eating junk food with trans fats raises your bad LDL cholesterol and try I don't even know how to even pronounce that word, and lowers your good HDL. These fats also increase your risk of blood clots. Blood clots. Again, pay attention to that, blood clots and heart attack. Avoid palm oil and other trans fats like the plague. And kiss fried foods goodbye, too, since they're usually fried in one of these freakish trans fatty oils. Shortening. Ditch any food that lists shortening or part partially hydro. I think they're hitting me with this weapon right now. Hydrogenated oil as an ingredient, since these are also evil trans fats. In addition to clogging your arteries and causing obesity, they also increase your risk of metabolic syndrome. Choose healthier monounsaturated fats. They are using some really weird words, man. And I can't even pronounce that. If I can't pronounce it, I'm just going to skip it. Such as olive, peanut, and canola oils, and foods that contain unsaturated omega-3 fatty acids instead. White, flour, rice, pasta, and bread. When a whole grain is refined, most of its nutrients are sucked out in an effort to extend its shelf life. Both the bran and germ are removed, and therefore all the fiber, vitamins, and minerals striped down. Because these stripped down. Refined grains are devoid of fiber and other nutrients. They're also easy to digest, too easy. They send your blood sugar and insulin skyrocketing. You know what? Let me get my ear shielding on because I think that's what they're doing. Just give me a second. Okay, that's a hell of a lot better. Excuse me. systems. Hang on our metabolic systems than plain old sugar. These supposedly diet-friendly sweeteners may actually be doing more harm than good. Studies suggest that artificial sweeteners trick the brain into forgetting that sweetness means extra calories, making people more likely to keep eating sweet treats without abandon. Okay, that's my alarm. I know it's 7:35. Nip it in the bud. Scan ingredients labels and ban all artificial sweeteners from entering your mouth. 6. Sodium benzoate and potassium benzoate. These preservatives are sometimes added to soda to prevent mold from growing, but benzene is a known carcinogen that is also linked with serious thyroid damage. Dangerous levels of benzene can build up when plastic bottles of soda are exposed to heat or when the preservatives are combined with ascorbic acid, vitamin C. Don't risk it, people. Now, here's the thing about that. Think about it. On a hot summer day in those non-air conditioned gas stations or service stations, or even in the local market that doesn't have any air conditioning, the heat is hitting that like crazy. I'm talking about like I'm talking about the 2 liters. They're just sitting out there, and they're saying it gets worse when it's out there and when it's exposed to heat. Huh. Anyway, let's continue. Butylated hydroxyzine is sold. These are some strange words, and I've heard of hydroxin and stuff like that, but like these, if I can't pronounce it, then at least you can still see it, or known as BHA. BHA is another potential cancer-causing preservative. Cancer-causing preservative. Pay attention to that, because you notice how this stuff tends to try to create cancer cells. Yeah, it makes you wonder why like so much is happening with the foods that we're consuming, right? And there you go. But it has been deemed safe by the FDA. Its job is to help prevent spoilage and food poisoning, but it's a major endocrine disruptor and can seriously mess with your hormones. BHA is in hundreds of foods. It's also found in food packaging and cosmetics. BHA has many aliases. You can look them up, or you can follow my advice and ditch processed foods altogether. Sodium nitrates and sodium nitrates. Or nitrates. I don't even know how to. I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's continue. No, that's not a typo. These 2 different preservatives are found in processed meats like bacon, and damn the bacon. I know bacon is really tasty. I know. Lunch meat, and I've already since abandoned lunch meat after I found out what it was. It's just basically when they say lunch meat, they mean like a bologna. And if you're not aware, bologna is technically a mixture of multiple animal parts. So you don't even know what the hell you're eating. You could be eating an animal's private part for all you know. You could be eating their eyeball, their intestines. You won't even know what it is. And yes, I know it's disgusting, but it's the reality we live in. That's precisely what that is. And hot dogs. I believe since bologna is technically hot dogs, yeah, that would be no different. There's some of the worst offenders in there believed to cause colon cancer and metabolic syndrome, which can lead to diabetes. Protect your health by always choosing fresh organic meats. Blue, green, red, and yellow. The artificial colors blue 1 and 2, green 3, red 3, and yellow 6 have been linked to thyroid, adrenal, bladder, kidney, and brain cancers. Always seek out foods with the fewest artificial chemicals, especially when shopping for your kids. Look for color-free medications in natural food products that don't contain artificial colors like these. Number 10, MSG. Monosodium glutamate is processed flavor enhancer. While glutamates are present in some natural foods, such as meat and cheese, the ones exploited by these processed foods industry are separated from their host proteins through hydrolysis. The jury is still out on how harmful MSG may be. That's for all you don't. That's also known as I believe no, but is that MSG modified? No, that's I'm trying to think. Is there MSG? No, that must be GSC, genetically modified crops. That's what I'm thinking of. I knew it was something. Maybe, or I don't know. I don't think MSG stands for that. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, MSG may be, but high levels of free glutamates have been shown to seriously screw with brain chemistry. And you wonder, like, why they're putting this in our foods to begin with. Damn. Don't fall prey to chemical flavor enhancing. Just play it safe and flavor your food naturally. Natural and organic foods online. And that's it. That's it. That's the full article. Now I hope you all if I hope you all definitely get some take these ingredients that they're listing down, put it on a list so when you go grocery shopping, look don't even just grab your stuff. Look at the nutrition facts on the back of the label of the product you're getting. If it's a box, it's going to be on the side. If it's a jar, it's going to be on the back. But sometimes some boxes and some bags do have it on their backs. Most bags do have it on the back. And again, all you got to do is just look down the list and look under the nutrition facts for anything that's listed, on your little list that you want to of avoidance of ingredients that you don't want in your foods. So then you know what to get, you know what to buy, and you'll maintain that healthy balance when it comes to dieting. I hope this really helps out a lot. I know it's literally looking out for a lot of this stuff has helped me out quite a bit. And remember, to all of you, from one TI to another, stay safe, stay strong, and continue to keep fighting the good fight. This is MM. I'm over and out.